And as we are anticipating that colder weather to come in January, our Bailey Tucker spoke with local first responders on how you can stay warm in the coming weeks. Bailey, what did you find out?
Anthony, it's important to have all your ducks in a row when it comes to staying warm this winter season, whether that's dressing appropriately or having your heating system properly working. According to the National Weather Service, temperatures will likely be below normal within the coming weeks. This means more people will be turning up the heat in order to stay warm. Owner of Best Virginia Heating and Cooling, John Crothers, says his business can expect to see a lot of calls.
It happens all the time, especially the colder it gets. Obviously, the furnaces are pressed a little harder, and so when the maintenance isn't done or the filters are dirty, it causes the breakdowns to happen more often.
Crothers says that if you feel your heater isn't working, it's best to call a professional instead of trying to figure it out yourself. That way, no one risks getting hurt.
We're not going to recommend, just a typical person go into their breaker box and start touching things. So it's always best to always call a professional. And so we're licensed in everything that we do, whether it's HVAC or electrical.
And if your heating system is reaching the ages of 10 to 15 years old, it may be time to replace it.
When they're installed correctly and maintained accordingly to the manufacturer's spec, you can see 10 to 15 years. Some obviously last longer. Some unfortunately don't last that long. When
you're not at home, it's important to dress for the climate. The CDC says that between 2018 and 2020, death rates attributing to excessive cold or hypothermia were generally higher in more rural areas. Kanawha County Fire Coordinator C.W. Sigmund stresses the importance to stay covered from the top down.
And everybody said, well, how much heat comes out of your, from the top of your head if you don't have it covered? It doesn't make any difference. Keep it covered. You'll feel a lot better.
Sigmund also urges people to watch what they wear when around space heaters. Some materials are more flammable than others.
The issue with the synthetic materials, they're usually more flammable than cotton. Wool is not as flammable. Our liners for our fire coats when I was first becoming a firefighter many years ago was wool because it was not as flammable as other material.
And make sure you've checked your carbon monoxide detectors because you won't be able to smell the gases that sometimes heat your home.
We want to make sure that they have carbon monoxide alarms in their home if we're using any kind of fuel, natural gas, propane, coal burning stove, kerosene.
So I would start checking those now that it's a little bit warmer outside, because once the temperatures start to drop, it's going to be a lot more difficult to go out and check those, and a lot more miserable too. Reporting live in Charleston, Bailey Tucker, Eyewitness News.
Thanks for watching. For more of our great weather stories, just click here. And if you enjoyed that video or learned something new, like and subscribe.